Hey everyone, Jaybird here, and this is Coffee on the Block. So today I'm going to show you how to set up an Innova Masternode. Innova is an awesome token to work with. It's pretty cheap right now too. It's I think around $1,000 to set up one of these masternodes. Back in December, I believe the token was about $18 a piece, so it was roughly a full Bitcoin to set up one of these things. So now it's really cheap. You can, with one Bitcoin, you can probably set up 6 or 7 of these things. They're really consistent, reward payout, very little issues as far as masternodes go. So it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you how to set this up. It's really quick and painless, and I'll kind of go through it in depth. So obviously the first thing you want to do is download the local Innova wallet. You can see it here. I downloaded a whole new test wallet and sent some Innova tokens in. You can see I have just over 1,000. That's because you're going to need exactly 1,000, and then I have a little bit extra to do transfers. So once you have your wallet downloaded, and I'll have the link to that down in the notes, you can open it up. It'll sync. It's going to take a little while to sync up with the block. And after that, I like to kind of get everything set up and ready. So one thing you'll need down here is the notepad. And I'll kind of do a layout like this, like Masternode 1. Things that we're going to need to know are the IP address. We're going to need let's see, an actual wallet address for the masternode, and then we're going to need a masternode gen key, which is your private key, and then we're also going to need masternode outputs a little bit later, and I'll kind of show you what that is. So that way you can keep everything in line. You don't have to do this, but it's just easier to keep track, because if you're setting up the masternode and you run into any issues, you can revert back to this and find out, okay, what was the address, what was the IP for this. That way you don't get lost and have to do it all over again. You might be able to troubleshoot it with that info. Let's see, other thing we'll need is the masternode conf file. So that, you're going to have to go into your main computer file system, C drive, we'll go under users, myself, app data, roaming, and then somewhere down here, there it is, Innova Core. So you open this, this is all your Innova Core files. We're going to need masternode conf. So you can open that one up. You can see right now it's empty, it just has some display stuff here. This shows you how things are set up. And we'll start getting this ready. So we'll hit enter in this first line here, and we're going to just follow that prompt. So we're going to do mn1, and then we got to go get all the other crap for it at a later time. Alright, then we have to open up our other stuff. You're going to want to set up a VPS, virtual private server, and I have that all under here. So I'll get rid of this crap, all these little pop-ups. So under Masternode, let's see, so we're going to need Vulture, that's who I use for VPS, and then we're going to need this one, and again I'm going to put all the links to these. So this person created a special script that basically sets up your masternode for you, at least does all of the hard work. So it's kind of like on autopilot. So we're going to use this. This is an awesome tool that the Innova community has put together. What else do we need? We have that. We have that. Oh, we'll need to do our Sentinel stuff. Let's see if I can find that. Just need to find. Oh yeah. Where is Sentinel guide? We'll use that. This one's for Vivo, but it's all the same. I just need to pull a thing to run Sentinel once we get that going. So we'll scroll down. So we're gonna need blah 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 blah. There it is. This is what we'll need later. What else do we need? So we got Vulture, we've got the thing. Oh, you need to download Putty as well. I'll open up that too. I already have it downloaded, so you won't have to obviously download it again. And that's pretty much it as far as now. We'll find other stuff if we need it. So depending on what you're running, you'll want to go, and I'll put the link to download Putty. But you can download that on your computer, and once it's downloaded, it just shows up like this little guy down here, where you can access your VPS. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing, what I like to do is we can send the tokens to the specified Masternode wallet. So we're going to need to create a wallet. Once your tokens are here ready to go, we're going to go up to Tools, Debug Console, and we're going to type in get new address. And I like to label them so you can help yourself however is best for you. Masternode 1 for this one. So boom, we have an address. We're going to need a Masternode gen key. So you'll type in Masternode gen key, boom, and then it populates one for you. Control, we're going to highlight the address, Control C. Remember we have that cheat sheet here. We'll add that, Control V, and then we want the gen key as well, Control C. We'll put that on here, gen key, Control V. Okay, so we have that. We can X out the debug window. And then we're going to want to send the 1,000 tokens, because that's the requirement, to that new address. So we can go grab it, highlight, and copy that. And then we're going to paste it right here. And you know it's the right address because it says right there, Masternode 1. Now, very important, send exactly 1,000. Boom, 1,000, no more, no less. Make sure this is not clicked. You don't want this to be subtracted from that amount, otherwise you won't have enough for an actual Masternode. Once that's set up, we're going to hit send. It's going to ask for a prompt to confirm that. This is also, if you were, what you should really do too before I actually send this. When you set up your wallet, as an added security, you'll want to encrypt the wallet as well. If you hit encrypt, you're going to type in a passphrase. And heck, let's just do it now anyway. So you can create, just a string of words. Make sure it's not easy for someone to figure out, but easy enough for you to, I don't know, type it in or whatever. So I'm just creating something up, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then we're going to type it in again. I think I typed that all in right. We're going to find out. Blah, blah, blah. Warning, if you lose this, you lose everything. Yes. Okay. Give it a second to get it set up. Loading, loading, loading. I'm thinking about it. Okay, let's see. well, while that's doing that, let's go set up our, type in the password. Let's go set up our VPS. Okay, so servers. So we're gonna add. So you can sign up for Vultr. I mean, it's easy to do. It's cheap. I really like. I mean, the interface is great. We're gonna deploy a new server. Whatever, New York, sure. And you'll want to choose server type. We're gonna do Ubuntu 16.04. $5 a month. That's all you need. You can enable this IPv6 if you want to. And then down here on the right, you're going to want to label it. So you can, however you want to label it. We're going to do, I'll do a Innova Masternode test for this one, and then hit deploy. Once that's done, you can have it all work. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it has that all set up. Blah, blah, blah. Any backups you made should now be replaced with newly generated encrypted wallet file. Okay. So Innova's going to shut down and reopen. Okay, so we deployed that server. Now we got to go find it in here somewhere. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Test. So we'll click that. And this is still finalizing and installing. Okay. And then we're going to open Innova back up. And let that do its thing. It's going to catch up to the block. Okay, we can minimize that while we're waiting. So far we have we're getting this ready to go. We'll be able to send these tokens to that new address we created here in a minute. Once this catches up, we'll send it off. And at the same time, our server is being set up. Since our server is set up first, we'll actually start with that. So you already have your Innova wallet downloaded. You already have Putty downloaded and ready to go. So now we're going to open Putty and actually get into the VPS and start doing stuff. So you can see here under this particular Masternode tab, for the one I just created, we have the IP address. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to remember our cheat sheet. We're going to put that on our cheat sheet. Control V. So that's there, ready to go. The only thing left missing is outputs, and we'll get that once we send our tokens to the new address. So we have our copied. We're going to go into Putty, host name, just paste it there, hit open. Then we'll copy the password, open Putty again. This security alert's just warning you like, hey, this is, make sure you trust this server. So you just hit yes. Login, username, you can see is root. So we're going to type in root, hit enter. For the password, remember we copied that password by clicking on it. Now, once you're in Putty, to paste, all you have to do is go to your line where you're at and just right-click on the mouse, just once. You hit right-click, you can see it doesn't look like anything happened, but it's there. So you hit right-click and then press enter. And that's all you have to do. Now we're in that server. We're going to type in CD for change directory, so we can just kind of go to the base one. We're already there, but it's just good form, I guess, to do that. Now we need to run this script. So remember I told you that person put together a script so that everything does it on autopilot. Well, that script takes a little while, maybe a half hour, 20 minutes, I don't know, to run through and set everything up on the server. So you want to get that going as soon as possible. So, and again, I'll have these links in the notes, but we're going to come under here to this link. You can see right here, there's this wget link. So you're going to highlight that whole line there, Control C, copy, and then we're going to go under Putty again, right click, enter, and we're going to go back over here. We're going to highlight this next section, chmod, blah, 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 copy, right click, enter, and lastly, we're going to start the script. Copy, right click, enter, And I usually give it a minute just to make sure that it actually starts going and going and going. There we go. So now you can see that's running. Let it do its thing. While we wait for that, looks like this is still syncing up actually. So we'll give this a minute to run through. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right, so if you remember, we need to send those tokens to the dedicated Masternode wallet. So we'll go back to here, highlight that address, copy, and then we're going to go over to send. Boom, pay to. We're going to paste it there, Masternode 1, just like before. 1,000 tokens. No more, no less. No subtract fee on amount. Hit send. Now it's asking for a passphrase that we set up. Let's hope I typed it in correctly twice. Okay. Once that's typed in, it's going to ask you, okay, you want to send 1,000 using anything to Masternode 1. Yes. Boom. Right down here, payment to yourself. All right. So now you can see I've got the incoming transaction from the exchange being Cryptopia, and then I have the payment to myself. You can see a question mark here. It's unconfirmed, so this transaction hasn't been processed yet. Let's see. So you can see down here on the bottom right, there's a little check mark. You can see that we're on block 115,010. So this should be moving along. We'll monitor it to see. Once it's done and it's check mark, we'll be able to get our output line that we're looking for. So in the meantime, we are going to hang out and wait. We've got the transaction waiting to go through, and then we have our thing processing here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pause this video, and we're going to come back once the transaction is confirmed. See, we already have one confirmation, and the this script has taken its course. We'll go ahead and get things set up. So I'll see you very shortly. Hey guys. So I brought you back briefly so I can show you, there's a couple more things we can do, and there's a couple more things I want to show you too. So when you first download this Innova local wallet, sometimes this Masternode tab up here, because we're going to need this tab, it doesn't show up. If it's not there, all you need to do is go up into settings, options, and then under wallet, it'll give you some tabs you can choose. Show Masternode tab. Click on that, hit OK, and you're good to go. Another thing is, in that time that we kind of paused, you can see this transaction, that 1,000 Innova tokens that we sent to the dedicated Masternode address, that has cleared. So we already have 16 confirmations on it. We got the check mark. That means we're good to go. So what that means is we can go and get our output line that we need. So we're going to go up into Tools, Debug Console. Remember, this is the same place that we went and got the new address earlier. And we're going to hit Masternode Outputs. I'm going to type it in, press Enter. Since this is the first Masternode that I'm setting up with this wallet, there's only one line here. However, if you set up multiple, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 Masternodes, when you type in this Masternode output, it's gonna have a whole string of numbers. So you got to find the newest one. It's actually kind of hard sometimes. Maybe there's a secret way, but I don't know it yet. So you have a string of numbers and letters, and then you have a number here that's a 1 or a 0. Doesn't really matter what it is. We're just gonna be copying and pasting it. So we can highlight it. We don't want these little, quotation marks or whatever. So you'll highlight, Control-C, and then we'll go back under our cheat sheet, and we're gonna paste that in here. You'll want to get rid of this little crap in here. So you're gonna hit that, delete, Make sure that you keep the space in between the one and the rest of the line. Now that we have all our magical info to work with, we can set up our Masternode comp file while we wait for our script to finish up. So we'll go back. Masternode conf is another one of those notepad things, so it's nice and easy. And we're going to continue this line. So Masternode 1, we have it there. Next is IP. So we're going to copy our IP address. We're going to keep one space between MN1 and there's a space in between each section. We're going to paste in the IP. We also have to put in the port, which will do we're going to put that in. It's going to be 14520 if I remember correctly. So you'll have this is what it looks like. It'll be your IP address and then the 14520. Space in between. And next up is our private key. So copy the private key, Control C, and paste it, Control V, one space. We're going to copy the outputs, the final piece, Control C. We can minimize this window, Control V, boom. So our Masternode comp file is done. So now we can actually hit enter and save that. File, save. We can minimize that so we're ready to go. So we've got our tokens needed for the Masternode in the dedicated Masternode wallet address. We've got our Masternode comp file set up here, ready to go. The last thing we're waiting on is the script to be finalized. Once the script is done running, we will be able to go in there, tweak a couple of things, and then we'll get the Masternode going. So we're getting really close now. Really, this is such an easy process. I mean, it's most of the time, you can probably set this up in a half hour. Most of that time is just waiting for the script to finish or waiting for the transaction to process, because it's these transactions aren't super consistent. Sometimes it takes a half hour for that 1,000 tokens to send from your main address to the other address. Sometimes it takes seconds. So a lot of it's just sitting and waiting. The actual work involved is probably only like 5 or 10 minutes worth. So we got that set up. The nice thing about these Masternodes too is right now it's a bear market. It's April 2018 and things are pretty slow. Obviously, as I was mentioning earlier, Innova tokens are dirt cheap right now. And yeah, it's, during these times, unless you have like a full-time job elsewhere bringing in cash flow, Masternodes are a great cash flow producer. So whether you need the cash flow or maybe you want to accumulate more Bitcoin, you can do that, because once this is set up, you're going to have consistent rewards. And when you gather those rewards, you can do whatever you want. You can cash them out and pay bills, buy groceries, or you can go and get Bitcoin or other cryptos. Or you can just keep it in your Innova wallet, accumulate, and start more Masternodes so you can get more rewards. And it's got that kind of snowball effect. So it's really nice. And I utilize these Masternodes. It's a great cash flow producer. Yeah. So, okay. Anyway, that's my rant. So while this is waiting, I'll probably pause it again. We're pretty much all set up and ready. We're just waiting for the script to finish, and it looks like it's getting pretty close. So I'll pause and come back. Sit tight. Take care. Oh, hey, it's you again. Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Rah! Sorry, had to do that. Back to work, though. Okay, so as you can see, look, job successfully completed. Cool. So that script is done. Okay, so now we're going to go in and change a few things, and get going. Okay, so first thing we want to do, we'll do that again, cd, and this time we're going to go into the Innova directory, cd space dot Innova core, enter, and then we're actually going to stop the server. So we'll do Innova dash cli space stop, enter, Innova core server stopping, and then we're going to go and change the Innova conf file to have the correct private key so that the rewards go to the right address. So we'll do nano space innova.conf, enter, and you can see down here we can use the arrows to arrow down. Private key, this isn't the one we have, if you remember, on our cheat sheet. So we're going to delete this one out. Blah, 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 delete, 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 delete. And then we're going to go to our cheat sheet here. We're going to grab this, Control C, Gen key. Sorry, my itches. And then we're going to, again, since we have it copied to the clipboard, all we do is right click and you can see it show up there. And then, you know, so you can just confirm that it's the right one, all the numbers, and then hit enter. And then down at the bottom left, you can see down here that it says exit. We're going to hit hold Control X. Do we want to save the changes? Just type the letter Y for yes, and then hit enter. And we're back in action. So now we're back at the main page here. Now that we made some adjustments, now we need to restart the server. So to do that, we're going to type in Innova D space dash daemon, enter. And you can see the Innova core server is starting. So now we're going to have to do a little bit more waiting. This is kind of one of the final pieces before your masternode's actually going to be up and running. Right now that the server's starting, it has to resync all the blocks to catch up with everything, and it's going to resync the masternode list. And now that we've updated our masternode conf file, it's going to show up on their system, and we can we'll be able to run it on the masternode. So there are a couple of ways of monitoring where we are with the server starting. What I like to do is I'll type in Innova cli get info space get info and hit enter, and this will show you the block count. So you can see it's synced up to block 768. However, if we go to our local wallet here, down at the check mark, you can see there's 115,027 blocks of history. So it has to catch all the way up to that. It'll be pretty quick, but it'll take some time. So you can keep typing in that Innova cli get info to see the updated block count. The other thing we need to see is if the masternode list is updated. So to do that, we're going to do Innova cli mn sync space status, enter. And you can see this, and I'll show you what this looks like later, what you should be seeing. But this doesn't even start syncing until the block count is caught up. So periodically, you'll just want to type in the Innova cli get info. Once you notice that, see it's on 6,723. Once you notice that it's caught up to the actual block number on your, to the current block, then you can stop looking at that, and you can start looking at that MN sync status for that to catch up. Once that is caught up, then you're ready to open up your local wallet and start the masternode. And once that's done, that's it. So super duper easy. Some other things I want to mention. So these are really easy to set up. But you're also going to want to maintain them too. So if you can, every single day, take a peek in your local wallet under the Masternode tab and make sure that the status and everything looks good and it's enabled. And I'll explain that a little bit more later, but you do need to kind of maintain these things. And if there's bugs, you can figure it out. Now, obviously you don't have to be like an expert on all this stuff. I don't know any of this crap myself, but I know the process. And I've done it enough times to where I'm pretty, I can get by and I can troubleshoot things and start to try and understand. And it's a constant learning curve. I mean, the whole key is to get started, do something, and just constantly learn and build and grow. Now, one of the best resources for troubleshooting Innova. So Innova has a Discord group. So you can download Discord, and I'll put the link to the Discord below so that you can join that group. It's great to keep an eye on. You'll see other people on there that are having trouble with their masternodes, or if you have trouble, you can post on there and someone will help you out. The developers are pretty active in there, so they're going to be able to help you, walk you through fixing things if you're having trouble. But you can also, it's cool to see how other people, like what they're running into, so you can kind of keep it on the back of your mind, so when these things start coming up in your situation, you can quickly fix it and continue on, receiving your rewards and all that. So Discord is going to be a great tool. Once you link up to that account, you can go under Innova and you'll be able to, see what's going on, chat with fellow masternoders or people who like the Innova coin. And yeah, it'll be a great resource, and you'll be able to also track Innova's progression. They have a roadmap out, and there's some good things coming up this year for it. So I'm pretty optimistic about Innova, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Okay, so let's check and see where we're at here. Innova Clee, get info, boom. So we're at 41,000. So again, we're playing the waiting game. So while we wait, I'll go ahead and pause us again, and we'll be back shortly. Oh, hey, it's you again. Let's get back to work, shall we? Okay, so things have caught up now. So what we're going to do is we want to check the block count again, check the MN sync status. And if you remember, last time, we were typing that in, Innova Clee get info, Innova Clee MN sync status. Once you type those in once, you don't have to keep typing them in every time. One trick to do here in Putty is, like you can see we're at the Innova Core folder still as last time. We just need that last command. So what you want to do is your last commands, if you press up on your keyboard the arrow up, you'll see the last few commands show up. So we have MN sync status and get info. So you can just hit the arrow up, hit enter. You can see we have caught up to the block 115027. So that's good to go. Now we need to check the masternode syncing. So we'll hit that arrow up again, and we're going to do the Innova Clee MN sync status, enter, and we're good to go here. So this is what you want to see. So you want to see the 999, blah, 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 true, 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 false. And that tells you we're good to go. We're ready. So now we're going to have this window chill for a bit, hang out there. We're actually going to exit. We have to open up, because you can see our masternode isn't here on the list. We're ready for it. We just need to reopen our local wallet. So we'll go to File, Exit. And while that's closing, we'll do the other part afterwards. We'll give it a second, give it a few seconds to like complete shutting down, and then we're just going to reopen the wallet and wait for it to sync up. So we'll open the Innova Core local wallet, and we'll wait for it to resync here. You can see our masternode now has shown up on the list. And we'll be able to actually start it here in a second. Now, while we wait for this block to catch up, we're gonna go, because we have this Sentinel. Sentinel is like the watchdog for your masternode. I cannot tell you much more about it, but I know it's something you'll be getting familiar with. So we're going to come over here and grab this command here, and we're going to copy it and just hang on to it, you know, on the clipboard until we get caught up here. So we've got everything else set up. We're gonna leave that be, and then let's see. So we have the Sentinel guide. So yeah, things are looking good so far. I think you're gonna be really happy with this Masternode, and it's super consistent. That's the nice thing. There's really not that many bugs that come up with it. That's why I really liked it, because I've tried a couple different Masternodes. Like I tried Vivo and stuff like that, but I could not for the life of me get it to like work properly and stay running. That's what I love about Innova, is I kind of stumbled across it, and then I started messing around with it, learned how to set up a Masternode, and then it's been really consistent. I mean, I've come across a few things here and there, but the nice thing is you have Discord. Innova has a Telegram group, so you can go on there, and the developers are also active in there and get tons of help. And then with all these guides, even the Innova token, like their main website, they have a Masternode guide there. They have a troubleshooting guide and all sorts of resources to help you succeed, which is really awesome. A lot of other projects, they don't have any of that. You kind of have to know code or know how to do all this crap, which most people don't. But this is such a great project to invest in, and just, you know, it's a great way to learn about the space too. Learn about how Masternodes work. I have positions in like VChain and Wabi and other projects like that are promising, or at least planning on doing Masternodes in the future, and they're still testing and working all that stuff out. So, you know, while we wait for all those to come into fruition, it's great to come in here and you know, start tinkering around and learning how things work, so that when, you know, as crypto progresses, and if you want to continue doing Masternode stuff, you'll be at least somewhat familiar with how it all works. And yeah, so you can see the block has finally caught up here. So now we can start the Masternode. So you can see right now, status missing. We can click on it and hit start Elias, or we can right click and hit start Elias, whatever you want to do. Are you sure you want to start the Masternode? Yes. We're going to have to type in that encrypted passcode that we had before. And hit OK. Boom. Successfully started Masternode. You can see the status as pre-enabled. So from here, we don't have to do anything. We just let it run. And you're going to get your first reward in about 3 days. It varies, so don't be super strict, because I've seen some people start and they're like, it's been 2 days or it's been 3 days and there's nothing. Just give it some time, you know, check back in here, make sure it still says, because it'll switch from pre-enabled to enabled probably within the next 30 minutes. But yeah, you'll want to just start monitoring it and make sure that the status is enabled. And if it's not, if it's like new start required or watchdog, you know, like you can start looking into, okay, is there a problem and whatnot. I'll do other videos on that in the future. But in the meantime, you know, go on Telegram, go on Discord, go on Google, go on the main site. Like all the information is out there. Okay, so while this runs, oh, and the rewards, like right now, it's about 5 Innova a day, but it's paid out every other day as 10. So that's kind of been the gist of it all. So the last thing we want to do is check and make sure that Sentinel's working, that one that I mentioned earlier. So back over in Putty, we're gonna go into the Sentinel directory. So we'll do cd space Sentinel, enter. So you can see we're under that folder now. And then we're gonna paste, remember we already have copied on our clipboard this command. So we're gonna go back in here, right click, hit enter, boom. That's what you want to see. You want it to see it immediately come back with nothing. Just like that. If there's an issue, it'll tell you. But otherwise, if that's it, then that's it. So now we can just type exit, enter, boom. It's done. We're out of the VPS. It's running. Your Masternode's running. It's pre-enabled in the wallet. Bing, bang, boom. Easy peasy, right? Super easy. So now it's running. You can leave it. You can close your wallet. It's not like staking where you have to keep your wallet open and do all that stuff. I've done that before. It's not that fun, and it's really not that rewarding either. But yeah, so that's running. I hope you got some value out of this video. I hope you're setting up your own masternodes, getting a feel for it. It's really fun. This is a really fun space, and there's lots of things you can do. You know, not just investing in crypto, but you can run these nodes. You can help keep the network strong. But if you like this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, share it if you can, and yeah, like subscribe. You know, the Coffee on the Block is the channel we're running. It's newer. We've been wanting to start it for quite a while, but we have a lot of great content that we're planning in the future. We really just want to help new people that are coming into the space kind of learn about how things work and learn what opportunities you have out there. And, you know, because we're learning as well. It's all a learning process. We're all here working together. And I'll even put my Innova wallet address down in the notes too, in case you want to buy us a coffee. That'd be awesome. But until next time, rock on. See y'all later. Keep it real.